Zipping Grillers, mile a minute. Mile a minute won the Cup, beat Valhalla. Zipping Grillers.
Hello and welcome back to the Green Light on Racing and Sport podcast ahead of a big Spring Carnival which is just about to ignite, and I think it's all igniting at the Healesville Greyhounds to kick off with the running of the Sportsbet Healesville Cup next Sunday. Hello, I'm your host Jimmy Vandermaat. I'm joined by C. Smith to my left-hand side. It's nice to have the band back together.
Don't know if it is. I normally, when I tune into a Healesville Cup podcast, I want to hear from
Healesville what podcast?
Cop podcast. That's what it is, isn't it? True crime?
Yeah, no, not quite.
No,
we haven't gone down that genre just yet.
No, I was looking forward to listening to some experts, and then for some reason it's you and I, Jim. You can't find a winner, I can't find a winner, but hopefully we can next week for the listeners.
I found a lot of winners as we discuss the heats. We'll go through them heat by heat. We're actually going to catch up with Sue Richards a bit later on. Not you. I'm going to head home, give her a buzz once she's calmed down after her heat win with Matchbox Beast. But we'll have a look through the field. We'll try and find a winner. We are going to go heat by heat. But, I just think this is a really interesting Healesville Cup. And the one thing that I did really well post each race was found the winner post-race.
You are the king of hindsight.
Wasn't I? I was on fire today. Like it was one of those days where I reckon I could have nearly had $1 each way on every Healesville Cup winner. Like the one for Justin Booker off the inside, catch some rays, just speed to the front. I said post-race, I tipped it third, and I was like, this is the valued runner. Like, if you're having a bet in the race, there's a difference to a tip and what you'd actually go and put your hard-earned on. I did not put my hard-earned on, and to be blatantly honest, I'm a little pissed off at myself.
Oh, well, that's fair enough, Jim. But as we say, you are the hindsight expert, and you do like an each-way play on some shorties, and there was a couple of shorties that managed to get through. Serial Sticker, arguably the most important of those, and we'll get to him shortly. But, it's one of those ones where you see a lot of the good dogs, a lot of the expected dogs be able to get through to the final, but there's some pretty cool stories that have come out of it as well, and some dogs that people that only follow circle racing or one-turn racing don't often hone in on Healesville, probably haven't heard of that much about anyway.
Yeah, 100%. It's an intriguing draw. Here it is. We conducted this box draw live after the last race. I guess every box draw is conducted live if you're there at the time. But
True.
Anyway, here's the draw. 1, Catch Some Rays. Box number 2, Serial Sticker. 3, Zipping Grillers. One of those greyhounds that just finds a way. 4, Matchbox Beast. 5, Shorty Boys. 6, Highly Abrasive. 7, Tarawai Therese. Box 8, Mile a Minute. Now there's some controversy, let me tell you. My Name's Eden, first reserve. Number 10, Augustus Finch. So the reserves, My Name's Eden and Augustus Finch. Look, it's a great race to have the likes of Serial Sticker, the Mile a Minute, taking on Catch Some Rays, who's a proven performer, Tarawai Therese, who's a lightning beginner. But the controversy, Smithy, was that in this particular series, there's 6 winners automatically through. There's no controversy there, but there's the 2 fastest place getters. Now, as it turned out, generally on fast track, we talk to 3 decimal points, so that'd be, let's say, 19.037. And that would be the line. In the case of it being an absolute draw to the 3rd decimal point, the recording, the timing system has the capability, I suppose, to go to a 4th decimal point. Now, can you explain what took place with Mile a Minute and My Name's Eden?
Yeah, so I'm not a judge, so I'm probably not the best person to talk to about this, but this is my understanding of it. Basically, fast track displays 3 dividends. That's a standard, isn't it? 3 decimal points.
We haven't done a podcast for a while.
We're a bit rusty, but it showcases 3 decimal points, the time down to 3 decimal points, but the actual finishing system is capable of going down to 4. So it's not often that you have to go down to 4, but the judge does have the ability to. Now, Fast Track displayed them both at the same time. When we realised that, when they realised that there was a tie and there was an importance, the judge has gone back and gone down to a 4th decimal point. Now, one of them has ended up 0.328, one of them has ended up 0.332, so it's 0.0004.
So 4 of a thousandth, is it?
It is, yeah, it is.
Wow,
it is
second.
Bugger all, Jim.
But it's there.
In a scientific form, it is bugger all, and unfortunately the way that Fast Track shows it shows the 3 decimals, and it shows them as the same time. But then when you go down to the 4th, there's a difference. Now, there's plenty of arguments that could be made that maybe you should have a ballot when it gets to that close, but the timing systems are capable of going down to 4 decimals. I think the bigger issue is the fact that Fast Track doesn't display the 4th.
Yeah, okay.
So I think if we're capable of going to 4th, Fast Track needs to show it. And I know there's lots of limitations with Fast Track, and I'm sure when they built the system, they hadn't catered for that 4th decimal capability that the Finnish systems now have. So it's one of those things that's tough. ideally, if you stepped a little bit further away and wanted to alleviate the problem in this exact circumstance, you'd have 4 heats or 8 heats.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, not enough nominations for 8 heats.
You can still get a dead heat, and we saw that in the Melbourne Cup where there was a dead heat.
Typhoon
and
Sammy
missed out.
Yep, exactly right. So there's issues with every single way of doing things. I think the issue here is the way that Fast Track displays the data that we have. So the issue is there. We now understand the issue. It's happened.
And you almost need it to happen before you can rectify a problem.
Correct.
So
correct, yeah.
Big race preview. And straight into our big race preview, Smithy. We're looking at the 6 heats. I almost went with 8 heats. 8 would have been ideal in this circumstance with all the controversy around the Healesville Dogs on a Sunday afternoon. But up first, we've got the replay of Zipping Grillis. And mate, this is just a dog like... I don't think he's the world's quickest dog by any stretch of the imagination, but he somehow just gets his 4 little legs into every feature final that he has a crack at. He had to ride the pressure early of Got Flair, who's not up to cup standard, but he's a hard railer. He puts heat on early, and then he pushed through, and this was a gutsy win.
Very gutsy. We've seen him over further. We've seen him up the straight. He's been so good for such a long period of time. He made that final, the state track final, last year, the Nationals over in South Australia, and I think he ran second in that behind Mile a Minute. He's a dog that you just love to own. He's fantastic. He tries his heart out. He has a red hot crack, and today was no exception. Augustus Finch, who ended up the second reserve, started coming at him, Jim, but Zipping Grillis, tough, gritty, whatever you want to call it, he got through.
Yeah, and you can see on the head-on footage too how he had to really ride the pressure of the 6 through the first 100 metres. On to the second heat. Now, I don't want to be biased, but I love the underdog story, and this is the definition of an underdog story. Tickets failing to pursue, failing to chase effectively. I don't know the exact around them, but he now sports the shades, the blinkers, which we see applied in thoroughbred racing a lot. Jumped from box number 3, beaten out, and I reckon at that point in time, Connections would have thought, oh, gee, have we bitten off a bit too much here trying to have a crack at a Healesville Cup? And I tell you what, his acceleration mid-race to get past Giacomo, who's a great dog, to get past high-end cash, to get past highly abrasive Smithy, the $1.20 favourite. What a result for Sue Richards.
It's a cracker, and you know more about Sue and the story of this dog than I do, so I'll let you speak about that when you speak to her. But the blinkers always intrigues me. Obviously, the most common, well, not the most common, but the most famous one in recent times was Drill Sergeant, who went out and won a Group 1 wearing blinkers, which I still haven't had an answer whether any other dog's ever done it before. But
not many.
Not many at all.
And if any.
There's negative stigmas around it, and I can understand why, because generally the dogs that wear blinkers have those failings to pursue and those sort of things. But it's a cracking story and a fair training performance as well to be able to get that sort of dog, to get them right, get them chasing to a point where they can make a feature final and beating some of the dogs that you listed off before. It's an impressive performance, that's for sure.
Well, the owners were thanking me after the race, Smithy. I like to include myself when I can, but they did say that last week, I said to them, have a crack. Like, you've got a dog who is, he's got his issues, but he's generally quick enough. He's a genuine 19-second dog here when he gets it right. You've got to have a throw at the stumps. They have, and they've landed themselves into a Healesville Cup. We roll on to the next. Shorty Boy, one of those hindsight runners. I think I tipped it for 4th, and I was like, David Gill, there was something about this dog. I thought Kernai Bolt, the runner from Queensland as well, Typhoon Bailey, might be hard to beat, but Shorty Boy just up the middle of the track. He had his space to move, and he put away some pretty handy dogs in his heat victory at $31.
First thing I said to Dave straight after when he was wandering back, I said to Dave, I don't know if I've ever seen one of your dogs go round at that sort of price. Yeah. And he goes, it was a bit of a throw at the stumps. There was a bit of confidence in the camp, but it wasn't from me. But clearly good
wasn't
performance.
From the punting members of the camp either by the looks of it.
Clearly, but sometimes when you see these top trainers and they're having a crack at the stumps, there's a reason why.
Yeah.
And we saw that here with Shorty Boy.
100%. Dave Gill, he's been there and raced really competitive in plenty of Healesville Cups. Next up, Serial Sticker. Now, I reckon if my wife was to leave me, I'd try and marry Serial Sticker. There's something about this dog. No, I know that's a weird way to put it, but there is
a touch weird.
There is something about this dog. And I've been saying he's going to win the Healesville Cup for as long as I can remember. And he just gave me the confidence that I was on the right path. Look, you don't have to be Einstein to work out he's going to be one of the key players, but he was by far the best run of the day today.
Oh, absolutely.
The time backed it up too.
The weather conditions were changing throughout. There was a tailwind most of the time, but there was a bit of rain and there was a little bit of wind kind of stopping as well, Jim. But Serial Sticker, he just put it absolutely together today. And when he puts it together, there's not many dogs that can go faster than him. He's only a couple of lengths outside Unleashed Kalinda's track record, which for a while there felt like it was untouchable. And then you get dogs like Mile a Minute and Serial Sticker who can run the hands off the clock. It's phenomenal.
Do you reckon people forget how good he was in the Emerald Series?
I don't.
He keeps opening up at like $2.50 every week.
That baffles me,
he
honestly.
Was like $13 when the markets came out for the National Straight Track Championship. Yep. He didn't win it. He ran second, but like he in my opinion, I reckon he is the best straight tracking dog in the country right now.
Okay. I mean,
it sort of proves
I
it today.
feel like you could flip a coin and go Mile a Minute, Serial Sticker. When they're up in Queensland, I was with Mile a Minute over Serial Sticker from the box draw. We'll get to the box draw of this Healesville Cup. They've switched around, so maybe that gives a strong opinion. But I think when it's box draw related and I need that to differentiate between the two, I think it's pretty close.
You heard of Chautauqua, the horse?
Yes.
I know we're not meant to touch on race 7. It was a mixed 4 and 5, but I own the winner of that race. Seagull Rock.
We're just inserting.
Yeah.
We're just self-inserting,
Well, you have
Jim.
to sometimes. And I tell you, Matty Tab and Bell Tab and all the tabs, they've done a wonderful job with this dog. And halfway up the straight, I was calling the race thinking, geez, I'm going to run last. You don't want him running last. And all of a sudden, flew through on the inside. It was a bit of a thrill, and it was Chautauqua like Smithy. But we do roll on heat number 5 and catch some rays. This is the hindsight dog of the day, I'm going to call him, because
you've had about 18 different hindsight.
Yeah, I know, but this was the one that I think even before the race, I said if I was having a bet and I wanted value, I'm backing this dog. Like there's just. There are dogs who are coming here that aren't genuine straight trackers, but because of their explosive ability, they're good enough to race competitive. Yeah. This guy, Catch Some Rays, is a genuine straight tracker. He races here every week. He knows every grain of sand. Justin Booker, Kelly Morrison, they're underrated as trainers. And he was awesome. He beat Mile a Minute hands down. Yep. Beat him hands down.
And I thought going into this heat, it was the strongest heat on paper as well. You got Cookie Man, Burn Along. Mapunga Shine's a Group 1 winner. I know he's probably one of those dogs that's not as suited to the straight, but it was a cracking race, and Catch Some Rays was very, very impressive.
What about when Mile a Minute pinged the start? Do you think it's all over? Like, realistically, I thought it was. Yeah.
I listening to your call when you said Mile a Minute's loomed up and then Catch Some Rays has fought back, I didn't think there would be a dog to be able to run him down or be even pegging and then go.
Controversy we had earlier. I want to pose the question about the Nationals being 8 days before the heats of the Healesville Cup. Has that cost Mile? Look, he's made it through, but if Mile a Minute just stays in Melbourne, doesn't have to go to Queensland, does he stave off Catch Some Rays? You could definitely argue that situation.
You could argue that situation, but then you go and look at Serial Sticker's performer and you say, well, he's had the exact same preparation, and you go, well, you also don't have to go to Queensland.
Yeah, but he won the race and he pocketed the cash.
He did, exactly.
Where would
right.
I go?
So,
I'd go to Queensland.
I don't know if you would.
I wouldn't get a start.
You'd probably put it in a grade 5 or something.
Smithy.
Been a bit soft, Jim.
I've given up. Tara White's up last. Yeah. She's a machine. She is the biggest problem in the Healesville Cup for a greyhound like the Serial Sticker, because she can come off the mat like an absolute cannon.
Yep.
And to be fair, she went 19:09 was the amended time, but I think at that stage of the day it was on the back of the rain. The wind maybe not as strong as what it was earlier. So
all you have to do is watch the replay, Jim. Just look at the conditions from, say, Serial Sticker's race to Tarawa Teresa's race. That shows you everything you need to know.
Even better, just view this on YouTube. We get a lot of listeners through Spotify and co, but if you view it through YouTube, you can see all the race replays and all the work done for you.
Absolutely. And that was a good race as well. Aston Fantastic, we know, can go real fast. Short Straw Trev is one of my favourite dogs in training at the moment. We saw him go through the Highway 31 series last year. So it was a cracking race. Matlock... he obviously didn't get it all right today, but he's one of the best short course dogs
I reckon,
in the country.
I don't like pumping my own tyres up, all right? But I reckon I got that right. I tipped him not top 4, Matlock.
Wow, okay.
I reckon that's probably one of the...
So this is your first non-hindsight related
I planned
pat
that
on the back.
Before the race, yeah.
So I've run out of fingers on my hands to count how many times you've used hindsight.
You've run out of hands.
This is the first non-hindsight. Well, I'm going to have to kick the shoes off and start using my toes.
God, no, we don't want to do that. The old smelly feet.
Better than Frosty's feet at the minute, I think.
Well, can we talk about that? He was a no-show on Cup Heat Day.
He's had some time off, and
can we talk about the problem?
He's just had a few little issues.
He's got that looks like he's been bitten by a crocodile. On his foot.
He might have. He was up in Queensland.
Yeah,
so
he was up there for the
National.
They don't go that far south, though.
Well, you never know.
Genuinely looks like he's either been hit by a shark or a crocodile.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Hopefully he's back. Maybe he'll be in a moon boot next Sunday.
Yeah, he might need 2 moon boots.
Maybe. Let's go through and try and find the winner. I'm going to give my winner right now. Top 4 I'm going to give you as well. Haven't really planned. This is sort of...
Have you actually given any thought to your top 4 yet?
No, I've given thought to the winner, and that's all that really matters. But we did literally just do the box draw, and we're doing this hot off the press. We're going to catch up with Sue Richards, or at least I am, probably tomorrow, and this podcast will be out on maybe Monday, Tuesday. Plenty of time, though, for the punters to latch on, and I'm just hopeful.
I can't wait for this podcast to be out on Thursday.
Yeah, if it's lucky.
Cut this part out.
Yeah, if it's lucky. We'll cut that bit out.
Exactly.
Serial sticker for me. You don't have to be Einstein to work out why. I think he's the best straight tracking dog in the country, but on the up. Mile a Minute has been that dog for the last probably 2 years nearly. Serial Sticker's on the way up. So I'm tipping him. I think Catch Some Rays is hugely underrated, so I'm tipping the 1 for second. If the red jumps, which I think he will, he'll actually cut to the rail even though there's not much space. And that's going to give Serial Sticker the soft run to challenge the lead. So I'm 2 from 1, and then I throw in the big guns out wide. 7 Tarawai Therese, because she'll be zipping across from that outside draw. And I couldn't leave Mile a Minute out. I think he can win the race. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Mile a Minute cannot win this race, but from box 8, he's going to have to work the whole way up the straight, which he can do. But for me, Serial Sticker on top from Catch Some Rays, Tarawai Therese, and Mile a Minute. What about you, Smith?
I think there's the two most likely scenarios. One is Serial Sticker clears Catch Some Rays, gets no pressure from its outside, it gets on the arm and they don't catch it. I think the other likely scenario, and this is probably a 50-50, so I'd say I'm setting Serial Sticker at $2 is where I'm seeing it at the moment. The other likely scenario that could happen is Tarawai Therese comes out, pushes across, puts pressure on Serial Sticker, Mile a Minute gets the cart of all carts across. Now, I don't know which way it's going to go. I probably have Serial Sticker on top just because of the box draws. If you flip the boxes, I'm absolutely with Mile a Minute every day of the week. Being out there, though, I probably tend to lean towards Serial Sticker, but Mile a Minute could get the run of all runs, and it would not shock me with Tarawai Therese drawn to his inside. There's not a huge amount of speed underneath that, and if the Thompson dog gets across and puts pressure on Serial Sticker, look out for that pink rug.
You're treading around the water. Go for a swim. What's your top
Serial
4?
Sticker.
2 on top.
We'll go 2, 8, 1 and 7.
I feel bad because I've left out Matchbox Beast, and he's my heart dog in the final that I really want to go well, and I think he can win it.
I don't think we'll do a wrap of the Healesville Cup
we
as a
might
podcast.
if Frosty pays up.
Maybe, but if you did, you could just roll with hindsight, Jim.
What do you mean?
Well, you've tipped 4 dogs, and you go in hindsight. If I had been given a few more tips,
Shorty Boy could win it. He was good first go up the straight.
You could make a case for them all at their best.
Highly abrasive.
Yep. Well supported today. Obviously, plenty of people have a big opinion of the dog. He needs to get it right.
Who's the lay of the race then?
Highly abrasive. Okay. Only because Tarawai Therese is drawn on his outside, and will put that pressure on early. So.
I reckon Zipping Gorillas, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you have feelings.
Just go on vibe.
Yeah, that sort of that initial feeling, like he's drawn to get a good run, but I just don't know if his little legs can go quick enough, as I said earlier.
To be fair, I don't think there's a lay in this race.
No, they all could win it probably, yeah.
If I'm having a punt, I'm having a win play. I'm not having a lay bet. There's certain races where you can have both.
Yeah.
This is not that. This is you're having a win bet and that's it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm Serial Sticker. I reckon this is the best bet in a feature race we've had on the show since I started the podcast, however many years ago.
I thought you were going to say in the last 3 months or something when you haven't done one.
Let's chat about that just before we wrap up and get to Sue, but... we've had a little hiatus, Smithy, a little bit of a break. You won't be on all of them, but there is some exciting news in the pipeline for the Green Light On podcast. Yeah, we're locked and loaded for a Bendigo Cup mini-series. And then pretty much locked and loaded with a Melbourne Cup Sandown feature that's going to run for about maybe 4 to 6 weeks. So
they've stolen the old Phoenix idea.
Yeah, well, the Phoenix is still welcome to jump in on the back of that. So we'll just get the numbers up, get the listenership back, and then we'll have a chat to the Meadows about the cash at the end of the year. Oh, well, you've got to pay for them, Smithy. They're not free.
All right, well...
Nothing's free in this world. Well, thank you anyway, Smith. That was actually probably cleaner than I thought it was going to be.
Well, that's a positive.
In more ways than one.
When you get the experts on, it'll probably be even better.
Inside Info.
Well, I am absolutely pumped about this Inside Info segment with Sue Richards, the trainer of Matchbox Beast. Now, this is an incredible story, and that's what we're here for on the Green Light On Racing and Sport podcast, is to bring these stories to light. Sue, as I welcome you to the podcast, firstly, congratulations on making the Healesville Cup. What a thrill.
bless. Thank you, James.
Talk to me about this dog. I mean, I saw you post-race, and we've got some images that I took of you when you've reunited post-race, but this boy's special to you.
Oh, my goodness. They're all special to me, seriously. I love them all.
What about the beast?
I do love the beast.
Tell me the story, I guess. So I want to learn a little bit about, firstly, you. How did you get involved in greyhound racing, and how did you end up where you are now?
I was like 15 when I got involved, and it was through a boyfriend of mine at the time. He had greyhounds. I was actually involved in horse racing.
And now you're training full-time?
I think I was training probably about when I was in my 20s. But I had a bit of a 10-year gap, but still had dogs, but didn't train or anything. We were just breeding with my brother, rearing, and then sent them out to trainers. And then I think, I don't know, through COVID, I got my licence back anyway, because I was at the track and people were saying, oh, why don't you train again? Why don't you train again? And then, so I got my licence back and then started training again.
And you've stumbled into a very quick dog who's a little bit quirky. He sports the blinkers. We speak of Matchbox Beast. How did you come to train this boy? He raced for another trainer, or at least he started his career with another trainer. And how did he end up in the Sue Richards kennel?
Yeah, Marcus, Richard, the owner, I'd known him through for a few years. And then I come to this property where Chris Constantine was at, and then reunited back with Richard, and then he had Marcus and said, buddy, it won't go around a corner, it won't go around to circle. Will you give him a go? Because he's, like you said, he's very quirky. So I said, yeah, okay. And, long journey with this dog, long journey. I knew he could run because he'd show me he could run. And I'd say to Richard, all right, tell John, the other owner, I'll say, pull out your suit. We're going to be fighting into something big. And then next minute something happened. We're like, put your suit back in the cupboard, back to the drawer and board. And it's just taken a long time, but now he's so switched on.
Yeah, I love that story. Put the suit back in the cupboard, because
that's what I used to say to him all the time. Put the suit back. I'm like, I'm sorry, Richard.
It tells me here, Sue, the data, that you started training the dog in September of last year. You didn't debut him until about, was it May of this year? So I think you had him for about 8 months before you could even wear the suit.
Correct. But it was a long journey. And
Sue, he's been a greyhound that he's put time on the board from day one. Let's wind the clock back to Sunday afternoon. You and the owners were discussing last week, should we have a crack at the Healesville Cup? You decide to have a crack at a Healesville Cup. Talk me through the heat run.
Oh, my goodness. I'm like, Richard and my brother, I'm not joking, those two, you cannot have them getting up against you because you cannot win. Them two are like, oh, you've got to go for it, you've got to have a go. And I'm like, but he's like, he's inexperienced. He's only not long won a maiden, The other dogs have got experience on him. And then when I seen you after the races and that, and you're like, oh, you should really have a go. And I thought, well, James really thinks so.
It must be right.
All right, we'll put him in then.
There's no looking back now. I tell you what, Sue, I had the enjoyable moment of getting a little bit distracted when he crossed the line, because as he was approaching the winning line, I saw the boys. They were right in sort of the middle of the grassed area, and it was as if they were riding a horse. They were pulling the whip, and the emotion, the excitement that this greyhound has brought you guys is phenomenal.
This is so fantastic, and I'm not joking, because I put him in the box and I thought, I'm walking off, I can't even watch, and then I was sort of like got up the top and I saw that he was behind the red, and I thought, oh, well, at least we're here, and then next time I see him up on the fence and going, I'm like, oh, my goodness, and I'm like, started riding him myself down at the boxes, and then he's won, I'm like, no, that can't be, that wasn't me, no way. And then poor old Warren, the steward, followed me, and I just grabbed Warren. I reckon I strangled him. I hugged him that hard. Seriously, because I'm like, and I just got on the bus and I didn't know whether to cry, to laugh, to do what, but I was all over the place and just couldn't believe it.
Hey,
my God. That was crazy.
I love the emotion. You can hear it in your voice. You can tell how much this means to you. I guess, what would it be like to dare to dream and say, come Sunday, your boy crosses the line first in a Healesville Cup? What would it mean to you?
Well, you probably have to call an ambulance first because I'll probably have a heart attack. That would be like, that's the biggest of my career. So that's like this year has been really good for me. Been in the Pink Diamond, 2 big breeders, and now a Healesville Cup, and just to be in these races is crazy, absolutely crazy. And like, more for the owners than me, more for the owners, because, you know, they're the ones that put everything into these dogs. So it's more for them that I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know. I'll be beside myself. I don't know. All I know is I'm wearing the sports bet colour. That's all I know.
Well, Sue, we love the story, and I've loved seeing it probably a little bit closer than a lot of other people who'll be tuning in on Cup Day. It's been an incredible ride thus far with Matchbox Beast, an incredible journey that you've had in greyhound racing. We wish you all of the best come Sunday in the big one.
Thank you, James, and you've been there also with me.
Good on you, Sue. All the best. We're cheering for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.